But these ones, they think they know what's best for us, and they do not know what's best for us. I mean, they've been in power all these years, and look at South Africa. If they were people with proper vision, South Africa would be a developed country right now. All these leaders in parliament who are above the age of 65 years, they had their whole lives to show us what they are capable of. Yet they failed to do that. They ran South Africa into the ground. But they are still continuing trying to make decisions for us. Why do we allow that thing to happen? Isn't it a good idea to have young leaders right now with different ideas? You know, this thing, people, it really pisses me off. It really pisses me off. Look at her speaking there, as if what she's saying makes sense. What's wrong with calling people foreigners when they are foreigners? I don't think it's a problem for someone to call me a foreigner when I'm in Ghana. I don't think it's a problem for someone to call me a foreigner when I'm in Nigeria, because that's what I am. I am a foreigner. I'm not a Nigerian. I know nothing about Nigeria or how they live their lives. We are completely different people. Just because we are black, it doesn't mean we are the same. We are completely different people. I am a foreigner there. And I, as a South African, if I can go to Nigeria right now, people from Nigeria are just going to notice me. They will be able to see. They won't even be confused. They are just going to look at me and see me that I'm not one of them. And not in a bad way to say I'm not maybe African. We are all African. They understand that we are all African, but I am not an African like them. I am a different African. Yes, I am an African, but a different African. So why do these people like to act as if we are the same? Nkosazana, Dlamini, Zuma, Thabo Mbeki out there speaking a whole lot of nonsense.
It's such a pity that countries, including this one, we call Africans foreign nationals. I think we really need to understand that we are Africans. And there is no country on this continent that can be an island of prosperity in a sea of poverty. Our fortunes are intertwined. We won't develop, no part of Africa will develop if it thinks it can develop alone without the continent. I think we should agitate and not think there is a country that's better than others, so we don't want other Africans to come here. There's nothing like that.
I remember there was once a time when some people were actually considering this woman, Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, to become the head of state here in South Africa. I'm happy because that thing didn't succeed. Because imagine having this lady right here as the head of state. You can clearly see how slow she is, which doesn't come as a surprise. Let me tell you something about Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma is 76 years old. Imagine a person who is approaching 80 years wanting to make decisions that are going to affect South Africa for the next 50 to 100 years. Why do we allow things like this to continue happening here in South Africa? When we say our parliament has turned into an old age home, you would think that we are lying. 76 years old. Yet this lady is still out here trying to make decisions that are going to affect us, who will be here for the next 50 years, if God allows. People, we can't allow that kind of thing. These people lack vision. They are trapped in past ideologies. We don't need people like this to represent us as South Africans. I mean, everything that she's saying here, I'm pretty sure in her head, it makes a lot of sense. It really makes a lot of sense to her. But then it doesn't make sense for us as the young people of South Africa. This thing of having leaders who make decisions that they won't be able to even experience, the consequences of those decisions must come to an end, people. We need leaders who are going to make decisions that are also going to affect them. It's easy for this woman to make these kinds of decisions because she knows very well that in the next coming 40 years or so, she won't be around. So, whether the decisions that she's making are going to affect us or not, that's none of her concern. And it's not only her, it's not only her. Many people there in parliament who are our leaders, who are representing us, are making decisions for us, decisions that they won't be able to see their consequences. Why do we allow that thing to continue happening here in South Africa? We need young leaders here in South Africa, leaders who are going to experience the consequences of their decisions. Why can't these people just retire? Why can't these people just go home and spend time with their grandchildren? Why are they still out there fighting for power? It doesn't make sense to me. You know, I don't think I, as Emmanuel, at 76 years old, I would be interested in power. Why would you be interested in power? And the fascinating thing about it is that you've been having the power all your life. You know, I'm 25 years old, and my whole life, I've known Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma as a person of power here in South Africa, as a member of parliament. My whole life. Even now that I'm 25 years old, she's still out there speaking, being delegated to other countries to represent us as South Africa. Why? But then they are going to tell you that the retirement age is 60. They are going to tell you that if you are over the age of 30 here in South Africa, it's very hard for you to find employment. Yet there's people who are over the age of 70 years who are making critical decisions for our nation. This thing I really don't understand, people. I really don't understand. So if you understand it, please tell me on the comment section down below that no, Emmanuel, you are wrong. We need to have these old people making decisions for us. And me speaking like this, people, is not me trying to disrespect our senior citizens. It's not me trying to disrespect these old people in parliament. This is not disrespect. We acknowledge them as our senior citizens, as our leaders. Some of them fought for liberation. We respect that. But then we need change right now. These people lack vision. And it's not a surprise that they lack vision. They are old. They are old. I mean, it has been scientifically proven that the older you become, your brain capacity starts to deteriorate. I don't care who you are, whether you are the president, whether the older you become, your brain capacity deteriorates. The decisions that you make will start making no sense. You won't have the vision for the future. How can you have a vision for the future that you won't be able to witness? You know, a person who will be able to have a proper vision for the future is someone who can visualize himself or herself inside that future. I mean, that's the only way you are going to have vision. People, can you have a vision? Let's say you are a business person, you are running a business. Can you have proper vision for your business for the next 10 years when you know for a fact that in that 10 years you won't be around? The only way you'll be able to have a proper vision for something is if you can actually visualize and see yourself inside that reality. Then you will make sane decisions because you understand that the decisions that I'm making right now are going to also affect me. But then if you know for a fact that you won't be around, the decisions that you are making won't make sense to some extent. And this is something that a lot of people seem to not understand. Whenever we are saying that we need more and more young people in parliament, we are seen as just young people who want power for ourselves so that we can also loot money like these people. When the reality is, we are the people with the vision. People in their 20s, people in their 30s, people in their 40s. Maybe we can put a cap and say until 50. But after 50, you shouldn't be out there still fighting for power. After 50, you should be looking at retiring, spending time with your family, especially when you've amassed wealth. These people are rich. Nkosazana and Dlamini Zuma, they are rich. Most of the people that are old there in parliament are rich. They have no reason to be out there trying to make decisions for the nation. Yet we allow that thing to continue happening here in South Africa. What's wrong, people? Or am I the one who's wrong? Tell me on the comment section down below. You know, if you can put all these old people there in parliament on one side and take the youth and put them on the other side, and then actually ask the two groups to share their visions for the future, I am telling you that the ideas that are going to come out from the young people are going to be sane ideas, because they come from a place of understanding that this decision I'm making will also affect me. But these ones, they think they know what's best for us, and they do not know what's best for us. I mean, they've been in power all these years, and look at South Africa. If they were people with proper vision, South Africa would be a developed country right now. All these leaders in parliament who are above the age of 65 years, they had their whole lives to show us what they are capable of. Yet they failed to do that. They ran South Africa into the ground. But they are still continuing trying to make decisions for us. Why do we allow that thing to happen? Isn't it a good idea to have young leaders right now with different ideas? You know, this thing, people, it really pisses me off. It really pisses me off. Look at her speaking there, as if what she's saying makes sense. What's wrong with calling people foreigners when they are foreigners? I don't think it's a problem for someone to call me a foreigner when I'm in Ghana. I don't think it's a problem for someone to call me a foreigner when I'm in Nigeria, because that's what I am. I am a foreigner. I'm not a Nigerian. I know nothing about Nigeria or how they live their lives. We are completely different people. Just because we are black, it doesn't mean we are the same. We are completely different people. I am a foreigner there. And I, as a South African, if I can go to Nigeria right now, people from Nigeria are just going to notice me. They will be able to see. They won't even be confused. They are just going to look at me and see me that I'm not one of them. And not in a bad way to say I'm not maybe African. We are all African. They understand that we are all African, but I am not an African like them. I am a different African. Yes, I am an African, but a different African. So why do these people like to act as if we are the same? Nkosazana, Dlamini Zuma, Thabo Mbeki out there speaking a whole lot of nonsense. Well, Thabo Mbeki, we can understand that they have business interests. They have mines out there in other African countries. So it only makes sense for them to say, no, let us not chase these people away here in South Africa. We are one. This is also their home. It makes sense for them. I mean, they are old. They understand that they want to leave a legacy for their children and their grandchildren. And if their businesses are outside, the only way those businesses are going to continue operating efficiently so that they can leave a legacy for their kids and their grandkids is to defend these people who come from these countries that have their business interests. But I just want to say to you, my fellow South Africans, please let us not pay that much attention to these old leaders with old ideas and old ideologies. It's fine because they continue seeking power here in South Africa. We can just listen to them, what they say, but let us not take them serious. Let us not actually take their advices. Because the day that this country has been taken over by illegal foreigners, this lady most likely won't be around. And we are the ones who will be dealing with that nasty situation. They won't be around, people. They won't be around. And this is not me speaking, maybe I'm wishing that they can die and things like that. No, I'm just speaking about the reality of life. The reality of life is that we are not here forever. And if you are 76 years old, even yourself, you know that you don't have that much time left. It's just natural, and there's nothing wrong with that. We are all going to die. There's nothing wrong with that. If you are 76 years old, you know for a fact that you don't have that much time left. So let us not listen to these types of people. Their brain capacities are running at gear 1 right now, people. They are running at gear 1. And this is not an offense. It's just nature, it's science. We need leaders that still have the capacity to think properly. So, my fellow South Africans, please let us listen and take advices from leaders who are actually going to experience the future that we are fighting for. Because those are the leaders who will most likely make good decisions. Because they understand that the very same decisions are going to also affect them. Those are the people we need to listen to. And I am not saying the young leaders are always correct. No, that's not what I'm saying. Some of them have weird ideas. Look at Julius Malema. He's not that old. But sometimes the things that he says, you can see that this man, no. But he's not that old. So it doesn't mean that when you are young, you are always correct. But then it's better when you are young than us listening to someone who's 76 years old. People 76 years old. This lady is older than my grandmother. Older than my grandmother. Yet she's still out there wanting to make decisions for us. No, people. No, 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 no. Let us not tolerate this kind of nonsense. So please tell me on the comment section down below, what do you think about this? I would really, really appreciate to hear your own thoughts and opinions. I'm really curious. What do you think about this? Should we allow these old leaders to continue making these weird decisions for us? Or we need not pay them attention? Tell me on the comment section down below. But then if you just enjoyed this video or you learned something new, please leave a like and subscribe to this channel. I would really, really appreciate it. My name is Emmanuel and this is Mzansi Versity, the place where we transform lives through knowledge and information. Let's meet again on another video.